Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim if you're new here. I have a little bit of a different video today. Obviously, as mentioned in the title, this is going to be about why I have no friends while I cook spaghetti. So it is a little bit different, but of course I'm going to still continue to do my tarot oracle readings for you. I was inspired to do this video because of a girl, and she talked about why she had no friends, why she thought she didn't have any friends, and her background. And her background as to why that might be, and I thought it was really interesting. I was reading the comments and there's a ton of people who can relate to this topic for some reason, and so I wanted to go ahead and say my side of the story and say that you're not alone if you're going through that, and kind of share the things that I've learned in my journey in regards to this topic of having no friend. But first, let me put some spaghetti because I am making my lunch and dinner, and yeah, I'm gonna put it in the pot which is boiling right there. Why don't I have any friends? Well, I think it's important to firstly talk about my definition of friends. For me, having friends means that you have somebody in your life that is completely and utterly loyal to you, will never say anything bad about you, they will not badmouth you to anybody, I don't care who it is. They will always be supportive, always loving towards you. That is my first definition of a friend, which is why I don't have any friends, because I don't have that conscious agreement with somebody, or I don't particularly feel this way towards anybody. That's not to say that no one in the world or no one I know today would not be willing to do that for me as we speak, but I just haven't developed that friendship where I can talk to this person, be close to this person, call this person at any time of the day, text this person without feeling restrained in any way, hang out with this person in a public setting and have that completely feel natural and easy and normal and not forced in any way. And a part of that reason also is because I moved. The geography of it all is definitely a part of the reason why. There is just no one here that I know. And honestly, I don't really mind. So in addition to not having that loyalty and that type of close bond, which I look for in my friendships nowadays, and the whole not really knowing anybody in this particular area, there's also the aspect of my past traumas. In relationships, in friendships, in any type of relationship really, like romantically or with my family, the bad blood that has occurred in the past has kind of stayed with me a little bit and sort of became the cause of any type of hesitation to connect deeply with anybody. It's not easy to connect on the level of the heart with people nowadays, I think, especially. And I think that can be seen through the media and what is being portrayed in the media. What is being portrayed in the media, I think, is causing distrust in people and the community and one another. Because the media tends to talk about the negative things all the time. And so, apart from all of those factors, like I mentioned previously, I just felt like I couldn't really trust somebody in the way that I wanted to, and not just anybody that I knew or was acquainted with per se. Like, they could be a good person, but there was just a general mistrust, I think, because of everything that, you know, has been shared online and in the media. And I think that that can definitely be brought along with you in your day-to-day life if you're not feeling fully secure in life and not feeling really safe. That might affect your ability, or my ability at least, to make new friends. So with that said, being that loyalty is the most important thing in my friendships, and having this general mistrust in the world because of the things that I read or saw, especially in the media, I've had experiences with relationships, especially friendships and romantic relationships as well, but even in a family setting where I felt really betrayed by somebody that I completely trusted. I've had bad experiences with friendships, sometimes romantic relationships, and even in family settings, where I felt completely blindsided and backstabbed by the thing that I would find out later on, if that makes sense. So it's like, you know, when you find out that somebody is not really as loving and as caring and as supportive as you hoped for them to be, and this whole time in your head you were thinking that that's the way the relationship and the relationship dynamic was, come to find out that they had been talking badly about you behind your back with their other friend or with someone that you both know at the same time, it's not really the nicest feeling. And that happened to me often enough where I really started to see that perhaps the people that I opened myself up to completely and really trusted and had really high hopes for in terms of the relationship just might not be what I want them to be. And so because of that, I sort of hesitated even more. So an example of that would be my ex-best friend in high school. In high school, I've had about 3 really close best friends, and none of those friends are with me today. The reason being is because I started to notice a pattern or a theme. Like, they would talk about some of their friends in a negative light with me, and then with them act completely normal. And I sort of caught on to that and started thinking, if they are to do that with that person, who's to say that they're not doing that with me? So that was kind of my thinking, and already that sort of thinking is starting to, I guess, grow in my mind, and the doubts are starting to creep in, and already that's creating a distance between us. So I started to notice that, and same thing with the other girl. I was just getting vibes. Being an empath also makes this really difficult. Empaths are really sensitive to even the subtlest of energy, so they can feel when there's like an authentic type of vibration in the air, and they might not know exactly where that's coming from, but that can really affect them, and they can take that on and they can absorb that if they don't know how to put protective measures on themselves, right? So as an empath, and me not knowing this back then, I mean, I knew I was sensitive, but I didn't have a proper term for it, but I could just feel certain things surrounding these women that I didn't feel fully comfortable with. In other terms, I didn't feel as best as I possibly could with these girls. I somehow always felt powerless or gaslighted in some way, disrespected in other ways as well. For instance, one of my ex-best friends, she also has another best friend. So this was a common theme in those other friendships as well, where these girls and I would be best friends, but they would have other best friends as well. So what I really want in a friendship is like this ride or die connection, bond, where we know that we're best friends and no one else can top that. But yeah, these other girls had other best friends, and I just didn't feel fully comfortable with that. And I think in hindsight, looking back, I had a good reason not to, because one of my ex-best friend's best friend, while I was doing a project with her, not my actual ex-best friend, but with her best friend, she ended up scrolling through her phone to show me something because we were working on a project. And I guess she had forgotten about this particular photo, but it was a picture of me. It's funny because the picture that she used, I kind of have these qualities today, which I'll get into in a little bit, but she essentially compared or like edited my picture next to a green witch, like your typical traditional witch with the big nose, the protruding chin, the warts, the black hat, the black cape. She compared our pictures side by side, and she saved that on her phone. And she never told me this. It would have been a different situation if she was like, hey, Kim, look at this, ha ha ha. But she decided to do all of this behind my back and have this sort of sneaky, snickering, 5 of Swords energy, which I just don't like. for a good reason. I think none of us really like the 5 of Swords energy or the 7 of Swords. But this is like the 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords energy combined. And this is what her intention was, because she chose to hide it from me. Instead of letting me in on the joke, she made me the joke. And being that she's my ex-best friend's best friend and they were extremely close, I had no doubt in my mind that my ex-best friend saw that and knew about it. And it hurt me that she didn't tell me about that, and it was like a joke behind my back. That's the worst thing, is like not being a part of something, right? But you know, the fact that it was a witch, and I do tarot and I sage with Palo Santo and sage sometimes, especially when I'm doing a reading for somebody or I want to clear out the space. So I do have these witchy tendencies, right? But yeah, little did I know, right, that I would have these witchy tendencies. And I'm not like fully Wiccan, and I don't consider myself a witch. I just have these witchy tendencies. So yeah, I think it's kind of funny that it was a witch that she was comparing me with. So after I noticed that, I was like speechless. I didn't even say anything to her. I sort of like kicked them out of my house because we were doing the project from my house, and I was just like in a bad mood after that. I didn't even mention it. I just was quiet because we were working on a project and there were other people there, but I really was angry and kind of, I guess, embarrassed by that point, feeling confused because I really trusted this girl. I thought that we had potential, and I thought that we were getting closer, and I thought that things were fine between us. And I didn't at all anticipate this happening, so I was incredibly, I guess, surprised and shocked by this. And knowing that she is my ex-best friend's best friend, I was shocked that my other best friend didn't say anything about it. And it just felt weird because they knew each other before me. Already that sort of drove a rift between my then best friend and I. But yeah, you know when you're like feeling deceived and backstabbed and it came as a surprise for you? That is a very traumatizing experience, which is why I really don't want to do that to anybody. And I worked really hard in trying to get to a place where I wouldn't do that to anybody, because I don't want anybody to feel the way that I felt. And so, you know, as I got older, I stopped talking to these girls and I cut off everybody in my friend group. Didn't resonate with them anymore, especially because I stopped drinking, smoking, doing drugs, to focus more on my spiritual path. And that really made me an introvert, especially in the beginning of college. It made me a loner, and in many ways I still have those tendencies today. But the difference being is that in the beginning of college, I was actually extremely anxious. Going to school was really difficult. Going to the store was really difficult. Nowadays, I have so much more confidence and security in myself that I can go literally anywhere I want to go and feel completely fine, even if I'm by myself. I just have a sense of trust now in myself, especially, and in others in the community. But yeah, like that really, those situations, those experiences really helped me become stronger in myself and not really care so much about the fact that I'm not hanging out every weekend or going to a party or doing all of these things that people with a lot of friends do. And I've kind of come to terms and come to peace with the fact that I might be a little bit different and I might be doing things a little bit differently. Are you still with me? What do you guys think? Do you guys agree that, you know, you've been traumatized in this way too, which kind of cause you to shut people off or be more hesitant to get into close relationships with people? Because for me, this wasn't just an isolated experience. This happened multiple times with my best friends. Like finding out my best friend in middle school at the time was talking badly about me with her other friends to have basically something to talk about, which to me is just so disgusting. But she was young. But it stuck with me. I forgive her completely. It's not something that I hold against her anymore. It affected us and our relationship so much that I just wouldn't care to have her around in my life, and I'm sure she feels the same for me. It's not a nice feeling when you find out after, really feeling like you could trust this person and opening up to them and trusting them, and then they betray you. It's not easy to get over. But thankfully there are ways to get over that. And I saw from some of the videos that I was watching was that some people were really struggling. They were still feeling really depressed because of the fact that they didn't have any friends. And I just want to say that that doesn't have to be the case. You can be someone who doesn't have any friends and have many acquaintances and not feel depressed or brought down by that whatsoever, as long as you can feel confident in yourself in any social situations. And that's going to take work, but you can do it. And if I could do it, you can do it. Because I remember feeling so shaky in social situations and absolutely hating every single moment of it. And now I really enjoy it. I enjoy meeting new people from all over the world when I travel. And I enjoy meeting other solo travelers. There are solo travelers all over the world. And they go travel by themselves, and they're open to meeting new people, and they have this strength. And that's another thing. If you are up for it, solo travel can be the thing that helps you break out of your depression and feeling lonely. Let me know down in the comments below if that resonates with you, or if you've done something like that, and if that has helped you, because I think it would actually help more of us than you think. Eventually I became extremely comfortable with being alone, and I think almost too much, which can be a bad thing, especially if you're somebody who, like me, likes to actually connect with people and like to get to know people, and actually are open and wanting friendships. I'm sure many of us, I think all of us, would want friendship. And actually there are people that I'm acquainted with that I think can eventually grow into closer friendships, the kind that I seek. However, we are from two different parts of the world, so that's something to navigate, especially in modern society where you're meeting authentic people online and you generally feel connected to them, but they're so far away from you. So that's another challenge in and of itself. But with that said, I kind of want to talk a little bit about this aspect of meeting people on social media and calling them your friends as being stupid. Like, I remember a family member of mine was teasing me and sort of mocking me, saying that the friends that I was talking to aren't real. But I totally understand that, because not every social media connection that you make are going to make it to that friendship level. But I think what they were implying was that it can never be real, that these friendships and these connections can never grow into friendships. And I think that that's really wrong, and I completely disagree with that, because I'm somebody who on social media is a real person. The things that I post, I actually genuinely resonate with. Yes, some of them are, obviously positive and not indicative of the whole picture of things, but everything I post there is coming from the heart and something that I'm actually really into, So it just depends. If you're posting stuff that aren't really real just to get attention, then maybe you're going to have trouble making friends online. With that said, while I don't have any friends, close friendships with people that I can necessarily call, talk to, hang out with whenever we want, and like grab some breakfast or whatever, have sleepovers with, I have a lot of acquaintances which I do see has the potential to eventually become a real friendship and lifelong friendships. It's just a matter of time, right? So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I am no longer ashamed to say that I don't have any friends, because I feel okay with that. There is literally no one that I know that I want to spend time with. Yeah, I do spend majority of my time by myself, alone, especially when I'm going out. Like, there's no one that I could call and be like, hey, you want to go to this thing with me? There's no one that I could call that I feel comfortable enough to do that with. There's no one I feel close to in that way. Sadly enough, even with my family members, because we're just very different people. But really, the reason why I'm doing this video is kind of to show that what you say to somebody, your actions, especially like when you're betraying somebody, think twice. I'm not at all saying that I'm perfect and I've never done or said anything badly about somebody. I have, but it's usually because they've done something badly towards me, or I've caught a whiff of it, or I sensed it or something, that this person isn't going to be loyal to me. So if I sense that somebody is not in that level with me as I can be with them, I immediately meet them on their level. I mirror them. I mirror how they're willing to treat me. So if they're not going to treat me with respect, if they're not going to be loyal to me in the way that I need my friends to be loyal to me, I will meet them with that same energy, or just cut them completely off and not have a single problem with that. But you know, there are acquaintances in my life who maintain that sort of loyalty, and I feel like I can in fact trust them. And I feel like they're people who wouldn't dare say negative things or badmouth anybody else without knowing fully the whole thing. And those are the people I think that I consider friends, actually, because I really like this quote: good friends are like stars. You may not see them, but they're always there. Like, your friend doesn't necessarily have to always be with you and be around you or living near you, and you don't necessarily have to be hanging out or talking to them all the time to be friends. And so sometimes those people are way far away in the opposite side of the world, but their presence and them just being open to listening to you and being there through your ups and your downs and trying their very best to understand you and supporting you in the meantime, those people are considered friends. But I don't have any friends in the way that I hang out with somebody every single day, and it's okay. Unfortunately, there are some activities that you can't really do on your own, like rock climbing, for instance. But you can boulder by yourself. So I've been bouldering. It doesn't really matter. I'm content with bouldering, and it's not something that I really need to do. But yeah, there are things that, you know, you wish you could have people with you to do them with. With that said, I guess I'm going to end this video with, you know, kind of talking a little bit about what I really look for in a friendship, kind of like as an ad. I'm looking for somebody who is genuinely real and will reciprocate the loyalty and the support that I'm willing to give. I'm somebody who's very loyal. I'm an Aries sun and Aries moon, and yeah, like, I'm only looking for the most loyal thing. I'm looking for someone that is going to accept who I am fully. I'm looking for someone that I can feel at ease with and completely be myself. As a friend and in relationships, of course, in addition to someone who is really passionate and interested and dedicated on their spiritual path, because I think that if you're dedicated to your spiritual path, you honestly and really easily grasp the concept of namaste. Namaste is a greeting that means essentially that I see the divine in you. Essentially, I see God in you, I see the creator in you, I see me in you. And so if you see a creator or the divine in somebody else, and if you see this person as sacred, then you are more likely willing to treat them with respect and not badmouth them, you know? So that's the type of friendship that I'm looking for. I think that if you are on your spiritual path, you're dedicated to your spiritual path, and you have this general reverence for all life, and you're someone who's extremely loyal and doesn't like to badmouth people, badmouth your friends with other people, I think that you have what I need in a person and what I want in a person. Because, you know, those are the people that I feel are really incredibly kind people, genuinely kind people, and I believe in those people with all of my heart. I don't care where you are, who you are, if we've met or not. if this is you, we have the potential to be friends. Because I'm a cool person. I'm a nice girl. I'm a nice woman. I'm gonna mirror exactly the way that you treat me. You know that feeling of just feeling so secure and at home with the person that's in front of you? That's something that I haven't felt in a long time. The last friendship that I had was the last friendship that I had that was like that was like in elementary school. So I think life and adulthood eventually got in the way. All of this other stuff happening in the world got in the way, and the general mistrust grew, and I think it kind of built up these walls around me as well as everybody else. And honestly though, I have faith and I have hope that we can break through that, break through those walls and connect in a more authentic level. Oh, and another thing, I forgot to mention this, but it was actually in my nature to be a loner because I grew up, especially through the ages 0 to 7, spending a lot of time by myself. I remember vividly that I would have so much time by myself doing whatever it is that I wanted to do without any adult supervision. So yeah, I spent a lot of my time by myself because my cousins were like 20 years older than me by then. My sister's 10 years older than me, and I was playing by myself, and sometimes I would even dissect like dead animals that I found and like put on gloves and everything and hide them in the bathroom and dissect them and see like how their intestines look like. And by the time that I threw everything out and like cleaned everything up, then they would find me and they would have had no idea of the stuff that I was up to. So that kind of gives you an idea of exactly how much time I spent in my own mind, in my own imagination. So if you have a best friend and if you grew up with a group of friends from the beginning, I think that you're very lucky and blessed. But with that said, if you didn't, there are perks to who you are, and you just have to find the strength in your circumstances. If you're someone who is feeling depressed because of it, do the things that you love and do the things that you want to do that you can do by yourself, and that will definitely help. And just remember that you're not alone. Yes, I'm behind the camera or I'm behind a screen, but I'm with you as long as you need me to be, and as long as you respect me and treat me with the same energy as I'm willing to treat you. You know, I'm with you and you're not alone. So yeah, that is it. That's why I don't have any friends. I'm going to continue cooking. Of course, I'd be interested to hear about your own unique situations and stories regarding this topic. I hope you're doing well during these times, and yeah, talk to you later. Bye. To put it simply, I'm looking for something real and lifelong, and someone who would be willing to put the work in with me, knowing that I'm, just like them, imperfect, changing, evolving, bound to make some mistakes, but nevertheless would always treat me with respect and make me feel like it's okay for me to grow as big as I want to be as bright as I want to be without feeling threatened by that. And I'm so grateful because I can feel that certain people that I've met are on that level, are on that frequency, and I do hope that we can potentially be friends, but it's okay if it doesn't work out, because there's going to be an infinite supply of really cool people that's going to resonate with you on your level that you need them to resonate with you. And yeah, so I guess this is also an ad. If you think that I can be a great friend for you, if you want me to be your friend and you think that we have that sort of unspoken connection and vibe with each other, you're probably right. You're probably sensing that we are on the same wave, same frequency, we want the same things, we're passionate about the same core things. Just trust that. So good. Fresh herbs. just vegan, purely vegan.